Hey everybody, Brian Von VA got another question for you today. What are some of your best Nat 1 stories? Let us know about your fails down in the comments below. Today's sponsor is The Best Available. Come see these intrepid adventurers grow stronger and delve into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage in a lovingly edited and illustrated D&D web series. Link in the description. I'll go first. We were tasked with stealing a book from a school library, very darling in the campaign. I made us invisible to make us stealthier, and we were asked to make a stealth check. My partner in crime rolled well. I rolled a nat 1 with a -1 in stealth. That 0 caused me to knock over a bookshelf, triggering a domino effect with every other bookshelf in the library. We grabbed the book and ran instead. That book ended up being a book that gave us 1 piece of useless knowledge a day. Good times. Did a one-shot DM'd by a friend of my girlfriend, and in a particular dungeon, our group of 3 were faced with a single rusted lever and about 6 locked doors. None of us were strong enough by ourselves to shift the lever, so we combined our efforts. One of the group rolled a nat 1. I rolled a nat 20. The DM explained that we tried one by one to get the lever to move. My girlfriend's character first, then the other friend jumped in. Then finally, my character added his strength to the task, at which point the lever suddenly tripped, opening all the cell doors and sending the other friend tumbling to the floor as he lost his grip. This led straight into a fight with some zombies who had been hiding out in a couple of the cells. My girlfriend rolled a nat 1 on a ranged attack with her bow. The DM decided that the arrow would fly straight through my face, piercing both cheeks. I don't think she ever used the bow again. Backstory. In our group, my character is always causing problems, but never faces consequences. I will incite a riot and will be the only one to pass dexterity to avoid the mob. That sort of thing. Another player and I always end up as rivals, and somehow he takes the brunt of my bad decisions. At one point, I needed to convince someone to go into a trapped room. The room was trapped with fire! I went to convince my friend. But because we knew it was fire-trapped, I needed to roll with disadvantage. That was the only time I ever rolled double nat 20s. He went in, got badly burned, and brought back an alchemy jug for me. A jug that mostly produced mayonnaise while I had it. In a Pathfinder 1st edition game, high five, 2 players and 2 enemies each rolled natural 1s in the same round. I nearly blasted my own foot with a spell, our rogue managed to lodge her daggers into a table, and both enemy archers had their bows snap. From then on, we joked that bows only had a 50-50 shot at surviving any encounter. Bartering with a hag. I told her that beauty was overrated and that everyone was beautiful in their own way, and that's fine. So she showed me her true form, and everyone had to roll to not throw up. Nat 20 for me, everyone else vomited. We kept bartering, and at one point I landed another nat 20 while I was sweet-talking her. She fell in love with me since I was the only one who appreciated her art and skill with magic and wasn't repulsed by her. So I guess task failed successfully? I love the Catoblepis, weird-ass stinky giraffe cow with poison breath and death laser beam eyes. It is the dumbest fucking thing, and I love it. DM starts narrating this creature, and I'm all excited. Oh, it's a Catoblepis! You don't know that. Of course I do, I have a +30 in knowledge! Nature! How could I not, damn it? I rolled a 1. Unfortunately, we were doing critical skill failures, so woe is me. I have no idea what that thing is. I was playing a ranger and was hanging out by the wizard, sniping at enemies across the room, while the fighter did, well, fighter things. He got overwhelmed and downed. I declare that I'm going to shoot an arrow at the enemy closest to the fighter to try to keep him from being hit while he was down. I roll nat 1. DM has me roll to confirm the nat 1, so another nat 1. DM has me roll another d20. I think to myself, that's odd, but okay. Switch dice and nat 20. DM asks me to roll to confirm. Nat 20. The DM explains that while I completely missed my intended target, the arrow flew straight and buried itself up to its fletching in the neck of the fighter, killing him. The wizard turns to me and says, "You shot Church, you team-killing fucktard!" A very recent one. We were trying to take down an assassin who was in a tavern, so we made it look like we were on a pub crawl. Lots of setup, buying drinks for the tavern, making our characters appear drunk. We were pretty much ready to go with our plan, and one of the party sits at the same table as the assassin. The DM asks her for a deception roll, and she rolls a nat 1. The assassin immediately attacks, and we get our asses handed to us very quickly. Alright, so here's the deal. Our second D&D sesh was a wild ride. I'm Tim, the half-orc bard who's midlife crisising through the campaign. Tagging along were my buddy, a sneaking tiefling, and another pal whose character type is lost in the fog of my memory. Oh, and let's not forget our NPC crew, a bird-type thingy and a lion, although I'm fuzzy on the details. We're cruising through this town chasing some distress call when suddenly we're face to face with the town bigwig grilling us about our intentions. Of course, being the rebels we are, none of us can remember a lick about this place. And to top it off, I missed the whole intro due to some pesky tech issues, so I decided to wing it. Big mistake. Next thing you know, our third wheel bites the dust, courtesy of the guards. Not one to back down, I, Tim, the supposedly burly bard, decide to pull off a heroic escape. Picture this. Muscles flexing, adrenaline pumping, and a bam! I slam face first into the nearest guard. Yeah, you heard that right. A natural 1 on a strength check for yours truly, the mighty half-orc. Fate sure has a wicked sense of humor, doesn't it? Well, I don't know about funniest, but in my last session, our DM had anyone who wanted to make a religion check for info on Yuan-Ti gods, but at disadvantage because none of us knew shit about Yuan-Ti. 5 players, 10 total rolls of a d20. I don't think anyone rolled over a 5, and my own contribution was double nat 1s. No information of use was gained. Do I at least know the Yuan-Ti? I was DMing a game with brand new characters. Level 1. One of the players was running a monk. He had a pair of nunchucks, and the other members were razzing him for this odd weapon. First combat, first attack, he immediately rolled a 1. I ruled that he nutted himself for minor damage. The other characters razzed him some more about not being able to use his chucks. Next round he said, No, really, I totally know how to use these. Second attack, another nat 1. Nutted himself again. Much laughter was had. They won the battle and went on to future glory. Definitely the most memorable debut I've experienced. Playing a Lord of the Rings campaign. I'm the rogue. 2 bards and the wizard are off holding an orc rave while the barbarian and I are trying to get into the dungeons. Our only visible opposition is a drunken orc who is thoroughly unconscious. I roll a natural 1 for stealth. I step on a bottle and slingshot it off into the unknown, attracting multiple enemies, and spend the fight trying and failing to set one of them on fire. Thankfully, my DM gave me some stuff with stealth bonuses so I can actually do my job. So I was joining a game in progress that a handful of friends were playing. I rolled up a Paladin and was level boosted to the rest of the party. They were currently in a fight, and the GM decided that the best way to introduce my character would be for me to charge in on my warhorse and join the fray. Problem was, there was a small moat around the battlefield. I had to make a jump check. There's the one! So instead of charging in, a knight in shining armor, jumping the gap and helping, my horse tripped and dumped us both into the water. Some friggin' hero. Mine is probably the nat 1 I rolled after using Lucky to re-roll a nat 1. Hey, you were destined for that nat 1, man. I was playing as a gnome rogue, and I wanted to hide in the middle of a battle inside a dark cave against some undead. Roll high, Pib, the DM said, exasperated. Shake, 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 pow! You squat down, holding your hands over your face, saying, I'm invincible! The zombie you're fighting looks down on you and stabs you in the neck for, 6 damage. Good times. I rolled a nat 1 on a performance check to be as loud and conspicuous as possible. I was role-playing my character running through the woods yelling at the top of his lungs, Oh, look at me! I'm just a poor defenseless old man who got lost in these big spooky old woods. I hope no scary dragons come out and eat me. I don't think the dragon bought it. Not playing, but DMing. My players were sneaking through an Oni's lair and trying to find a way across a chasm that was too great to jump. There was an adjacent room where the Oni's giant pet snake was sleeping, and they rolled a perception check to see if there was anything of note. Nat 1. You think you see a switch on the other side of the room. Being the good players they were, they went in. After an epic fight with a giant snake, they discovered the switch was just a rock. I had an undead character who had recently, read literally the previous session, come back to life. The party was not doing good. The warlock was unconscious and failing death saves, the cleric was out of spell slots, the ranger, me, was unconscious but stable. The cleric needed some hit points to stay in the fight long enough to kill the boss. So he bit someone. Plane shift vampire race, I think it was the Ixalan vamp. If he bites the warlock, well, that guy just dies. So instead he bites the ranger, because the ranger will be fine for one more round, right? Ranger now has 1 failed death save, but it'll be fine. Ranger's turn comes around. Death save. Nat 1. 3 failed saves, instant death. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 gold pieces. God damn it, I hope you had a diamond. Most memorable might have been when a warlock warforged, not my character, rolled a performance check for flirting with an NPC. This warlock was an intelligence-based warlock, and he dumped charisma. He rolled a -2 with a nat 1. Most recent memorable nat 1s was when I rolled 3 of them in a row and I was down twice in that boss fight. This is also the same campaign with the warlock. Probably the time I was fighting a group of vampires with the party. Being an Echo Knight, I was easily able to out-DPS the party for the most part, besides the big min-maxer of the group. As far as the story goes, we were fighting in and outside of the tavern to keep them from kidnapping a party member. This really pissed off my guy, cause he and the one being kidnapped were really close. Think brother-sister kind of thing. So I cut the second strongest vampire off to keep her from catching up to the boss, while the rest of the party goes after the boss. I roll to hit. Nat 1. My sword goes flying off into the riverbank. Joke's on the DM though, I have a backup greatsword. I roll to hit. Another nat 1. Ah, crap. Another lost sword. I managed to get them back at the end of the session, though, so it wasn't too bad. Just, really annoying. We had a situation where the big bad evil guy came and burnt half a town down and killed dozens of civilians. The town leader came through after he was gone saying, "All is well, citizens. Return back to your homes." And I had enough of this guy. I rolled a natural 20 and backhanded him off his horse. Then I gave a rousing, impassioned speech to the townspeople about how they were at war, whether or not they wanted to accept it. Unfortunately, I rolled a natural 1 on my persuasion check and our party was banished from the town. Probably got burned down fully, too. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know in the comments below what are some of your best Nat 1 stories, fails, fumbles, or mess-ups. And of course, if you want to help us from rolling Nat 1s constantly, you can join our membership program. You get early access to videos, and you get to keep our D20s rolling high. We love you all. Be safe, be happy, toodaloo.